All right, so our procedure is working great. We've got it to find the last cell, we got the address, we've got the formula, we tested it out. I've got my $266,285 inside of that total expense column. All right, now that was for one worksheet. But now I want to be able to take this code right here and I want to get it to loop. I need to get it to happen multiple times. All right, there's many different approaches that we could take to get this to loop. We could create a new procedure, call it loop auto sum, and then create the loop and make a call to the automate sum function, sum procedure that you just created. Or we can go back to this procedure here, just one procedure, and add the loop to that. So you got multiple ways to do it. And I would suggest try it both ways. You know, get a feel for just modifying this one or creating another procedure and making a call to this one within a loop. Okay? So I'm going to totally leave it up to you how you want to accomplish that. And again, I would suggest try them both out. For my example, I'm going to go ahead and modify this one and include the loop inside of it. All right. Now, first step, though, I'm going to go back and get rid of this 266,000. Let's delete that cell, F16 in this case. All right. So now I'm going to go back to my VBA window. Let's go ahead and maximize this. So now I want to get my loop going in here. All right. So we've got how many worksheets? North, east, south, west. We got 4 worksheets. Well, what if we had 5 or 10 or 20 or 30 or whatever, right? So we got to think about that as we create the loop. So first thing, I'm going to bring in another variable, dim_i as integer, because I'm going to use that within my loop. I'm going to start I out equals 1, and now I'm going to start to create my loop. So I'm going to use another do while loop. I'm going to say do while I is less than or equal to what? How many times do we want this to loop? Well, we got 4 worksheets, so put a 4 in there. Sound good? Then I can come down here and I can just do loop, right? And I can call that good. That's my loop. Just cleaning it up here, make it look a little cleaner, more readable. Well, remember this discussion. 4, that's a static number. I don't want to base it off of 4, because what if later on we got 5 worksheets or we got 20 worksheets? I need to adjust that. So instead of 4, remember this one? Worksheets dot. We got the worksheets object. How many worksheets are there? Dot count. So we're going to do it while I is less than or equal to the total count of worksheets within the workbook. And then somewhere inside of here, we will iterate upon the I value. I equals I plus 1. Great. All right, what do you think? Got my loop, got my do while loop, got my variable there. I'm iterating upon the I value. It's because every time it loops, we want to increase I by 1, because eventually we'll get to that worksheet count, whether that's 4, 5, or 20. What's the first thing my loop does? Well, it selects F2. That's great, because that's where the total expense column's at. But what worksheet does it select it on? Well, we don't ever tell it. So right now, it's just going to be the east worksheet. We need to make sure that every time our loop runs, it moves to the next appropriate worksheet. So you might recall in our earlier discussion, I can get back to the worksheets object. I want to select a specific worksheet. In this case, I is currently equal to 1. I'm going to select the first worksheet. So I'm going to use I there. Dot select. The next time it runs, I gets incremented by 1. So it loops back. I is now equal to 2. So it selects the second worksheet. And so on. So we're creating that loop, that looping magic through VBA here. Getting our automated sum to happen on each worksheet. All right, this is exciting. Let's try this out. So I'm going to move this off to the side. I'll get my other document side by side there. And I'm currently on the East Records worksheet. That's totally fine. I could be anywhere. It really doesn't matter. I could be on North, because a part of our loop tells it to select the specific worksheet. All right, don't blink. Super quick here. I'm going to just maximize this window. You can even F8 through that procedure. You can go back into your VBA window and just watch it do each worksheet. F8, F8, F8. Remember that? Here, I'm just going to do it all at once. So developer to my macros. There's my automate sum. Does it all. Really quick. Run. And I'm done. East records. It's got the F2 cell down to the bottom. Automated it. Dropped in the calculation there. F2 to F15. When I go to west, there's my calculation, which is F2 to F16. And here it's F2 to F15. And here it's F2 to F16. One button press. Done. We've automated a function. In this case, the sum function. But in reality, you could do this with any function that you create inside of Excel. Whether it's sum, min, max, average, account, VLOOKUP, whatever it might be. You're just going to piece it together through your VBA, finding those cells that you need to help you with the calculation, and then if necessary, get it to loop to happen multiple times, in this case, across all the worksheets within the workbook.